They will no longer be called regular or administration police as we know them today, but general duty officers. This is among the major highlights of the raft of changes in the police service that President Uhuru Kenyatta announced today. In what can be seen as near complete overhaul in the police service, the president, in his reorganization of the command and control of the service, has abolished 12 senior police positions in a move, he says, will ensure lean and effective chain of command. In the new proposed changes, housing of police officers has been abolished in the reforms that will take place in the next 90 days, and instead, affected officers will now be paid house allowance. As Duncan Haemba reports, a new uniform for general duty officers has also been unveiled.
The Commander-in-Chief was here at the Kenya School of Government for the launch of new key reforms in the National Police Service. Key highlights being a new outlook for the general duty officers. President Uhuru Kenyatta announced key changes in line with proposed police reforms, starting with reorganization of the command and control at the helm.
And to assign specific and distinct functions to the Deputy Inspector Generals and the Director of Criminal Investigations. The Deputy Inspector General, Kenya Police Service, will now focus on public safety and security. The Deputy Inspector General, Administration Police Service, will from today focus on protective and border security.
Also affected will be those in command at regional levels. 12 key positions have been scrapped. Among them,
the following positions where they existed are abolished. And these are: 1, the Administration Police Service Regional Commander; 2, the Kenya Police Service Regional Commander; 3, the Director of Criminal Investigation Regional Commander; 4, the County Coordinating Commander.
There will also be integration of forces with immediate effect.
In order to eliminate waste, duplication, and overlap, we will integrate 39,680 Kenya Police Service and 24,572 Administration Police into general duty police officers under the command of the Deputy Inspector General, Kenya Police Service.
Major institutions will also be rebranded and renamed. For instance,
the Kenya Police Training College is renamed the National Police College, Kiganjo Campus. 2, the Administration Police Service Training College is renamed the National Police College, Embakasi A Campus.
Police officers will also lose free housing in the next 90 days in a move many say is calculated to eliminate cartels that existed in sourcing houses for leasing to officers, and instead
the policy of mandatory and free housing for junior officers in institutional houses is hereby abolished, and instead house allowance for all ranks of these officers will be provided.
Inspector General of Police Joseph Boynet has been directed by the President to implement the changes with immediate effect, and the National Treasury ordered to avail the financial provisions with immediate effect as well. It is nearly complete overhaul in what the Commander-in-Chief calls the reorganization in the command and control in the National Police Service. However, it is interesting to see how those in abolished positions will be affected. Duncan Haemba, KTN News, Nairobi.
And that's definitely a question I will be posing to the Director of Communications at the National Police Service, Charles Owino, in a short while. But quickly, let's take a look at some of the reactions you've had with regards to these comprehensive changes in the National Police Service in the country that President Uhuru Kenyatta says will help in the reforms, effective reforms in the police service. Now, from Joshua Njenga on Twitter said, reforming the police by changing their uniform is like repainting a vehicle that has engine failure, it will not move. Hashtag police reform. Some of your reactions from social media. Gadara says, dear Kenyans, where were the new National Police Service uniforms made? By whom? For how much? Were they competitively sourced? These are questions I've seen on social media consistently, both Facebook and Twitter. Questions I will definitely be posing to the Director of Communications at the National Police Service in a short while here in the program. Kipchumba Murkomen, Leader of Majority in the Senate, I congratulate the President for taking bold steps in the reformation of our police service. The changes in structures and command in the police service, plus the provision of housing to the policemen and women, will go a long way in our desire to make the police a service rather than a force. Very positive tweet there from the Leader of Majority at the Senate, Kipchumba Murkomen. Kilonzo, the senator from Akwe, says, the new police uniform reminds me of the biblical story of new wine in old wineskins. Police are poorly paid and live in deplorable conditions. If you ask them for their views, uniform will not be in the top 10 need list for these officers. Of course, another question that I will be posing to the Director of Communication, Charles Owino. These are some of the reactions. We're still taking them here on KTN News. You can tweet me at Akisa Andera at KTN News. The hashtag to use is KTN Primetime News as we take a look at these reforms and what they mean for you at home and for me. Thank you very much for joining us here tonight, Mr. Charles Owino. The merging of AP officers and the regular police officers into the general duty officers, what does this mean?
First of all, I must say that to us who are policemen for many years, it's more or less of an early Christmas gift to us by the President. What happens is that I think many of us do not follow what goes on in the country. You are aware that after 2007 problems that we had, through the committees that the President then formed, especially the Kriegler report, when we came to the promulgation of the Constitution 2010, we came up with one service. We have never had two services. We came up with one service, and that was the National Police Service. Previously, we had the Commissioner of Police heading the Kenya Police Service, and we had a Commandant Administration Police heading the AP. But then we came up with the promulgation of the Constitution 2010, we came up with the Police Service Commission, we came up with the position of an Inspector General heading the two services. But we did not leave our old culture of running the services differently from how it was being run before. So the objective of this is to ensure that every service, because we have not abolished any service, we still have the Kenya Police Service, we still have the Administration Police Service with two Deputy Inspector Generals, the Director of CID. But what we have simply changed is to ensure that we provide specific functions for each service, so that we do not have a situation where there's overlap of services. Specific
functions, and we're getting into that. There's been mixed reactions with these changes that were announced today by the President. Some very skeptical about whether this will change the attitude of police officers and the general culture. What do you think about some of the reactions, even from those that we've just sampled?
It's simply because people are not in the know. It's a new thing to them. They don't know exactly what has been done, and that is why it is important for us to explain what has exactly been done. What has been done is that the Administration Police has been given specific functions, and specific functions in the sense that they have been given about 4 major functions. One of them is the border security. You may not know, but it's important to get to know that along our borders, especially the Kenya-Somali border, what happened is that we had police stations which had maybe 20 officers, 10 officers, 30 officers. Their duty was to undertake simple social issues, like, for example, theft, cases of assault, and so on. But now this border has become a front line for war. Now, we cannot sustain 10 officers, 20 officers, and that is why we must come up with a stronger border patrol, where it would have, for example, 200 police officers in one camp with facilities that are specific for a particular purpose. Now, we have the issues of critical infrastructure as a specific duty for the Administration Police. We have the anti-stock theft unit. We have the RDU. These are specific functions. And then what has happened is that those police posts that you used to see for Administration Police in your village, I don't know which village you come from in Western, because you are called Wandera. Which village do you come from?
Matayos.
You come from Matayo.
Yes.
That is in Busia.
Yes, in Mundika village.
In Mundika. Now, when you go to Mundika, you will find an administration police post.
All right.
Now, what we've done is that administration police post will be changed into a police post, not administration police post. Yes.
Allow me to cut you short. We're getting back shortly to just discuss this at length and some of the issues arising from these reforms. I want us to take a quick break here on KTN Primetime News. Don't go too far. We're getting back with this conversation with the Director of Communications at the National Police Service, Mr. Charles Owino, and of course, more stories that have been making headlines today in the country and beyond. Don't go too far.